Welcome to the donhat crew! Today we're gonna be trying out the new deck, the OP08 Marco, which should be the best deck in the format. And we just got an update on the sim for us to be able to play the leader. Of course, we don't have all the new cards that haven't been announced yet, but still we can try and see how the deck works and see what the potential is.
A few years later.
To be honest, after playtesting for a bit with this deck, I've seen that it needs to be a bit updated because we still don't have all the new cards. So at this point I decided to mix the Straw Hats with the Izo Searchers of Whitebeard for us to be able to find the 9-cost Sanji with the Nami and for us to find the new gate with the Izo. Let's just watch the gameplay. I will explain every single move I do. At this point I played the Nami to find the Brook and just to have a setup for the next turn. Since I have one extra Dawn, I can cycle my hand, take a look at the hand and see if I want to do some stuff. Unfortunately I misclicked. I want to put the Jet Pistol to the bottom of my deck, but I'll keep it for now. Maybe it will be useful because with the Jet Pistol we can pop something big like a 7-cost Mom. With the lead and the Jet Pistol we can pop a 7-cost Mom. I'm gonna take the first swing just to have more cards in my hand. Just a 5k at life, play the Brook. The Brook can help you out as well. With one Dawn, when he attacks, he minuses 2k to 2 characters. He plays a Law on me. The new gate goes to the trash. The Seaquake also goes to the trash. 2 good cards. 7k to life, I take it. Now we're at 6 Dawn, which is the perfect time to play a Marco and pop a 5-cost character. I drew a Sanji. I decided to put the Sanji to the bottom of the deck. Just minus the blocker, play a Marco and pop the blocker. Go 6k at life. I'm not gonna swing with the Brook. I'm gonna keep it in case my opponent plays something bigger on his next turn, just for me to be able to lower them and pop them as well. So since the opponent doesn't have a board, I would rather just let him swing at my life at this point. And they're at 7 Dawn right now, so let's see what they do. Technically, Pudding could just swing and go to 8 Dawn and have 10 Dawn on the next turn. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna play Sanji, Pero, and just pass. So now I'm at 8 Dawn. I'm gonna minus the Sanji, play something. Place a card to the bottom of the deck. I'm gonna place the Jet Pistol since there was no 7k on the board. I whiff with the Nami. And I just go Seaquake and pop the blocker. At this point I'm thinking that I need to go a bit aggressive and try to lower my opponent as much as possible since a possible 10-cost Mom is coming on the next turn. I'm gonna just swing 7k. He counters out of that. I'm gonna swing another 7k. He will play the Sanji, I guess. Yep. And do another 7k and minus these two, trying to force the Sanji as if I have another Seaquake, but he doesn't take the bait, he just takes the life. The Nico Robin is a thing I'm testing, but as you can see, she's a bit off to pop something. She only pops 1k. That is why the Seaquake event is the best event in the deck so far. this point my opponent didn't draw 10 cost, so they're just swinging at me. And playing like a poly to pop the brook, playing a adding Dawn just to swing at me. I defend against all of that, and afterwards I'm just trying to go for game, and I close it off with a 13k swing to life at 5k. As you can see, popping something is quite easy, especially if you have the Sequake. Just put one Dawn on the lead, pop the Sanji, play the Sequake. It's that easy to pop a blocker with this leader, and just swing 7k with Marco and go 13k with the lead for game. In the next game, I went second as well. I got the Izo search, and I got the Nami search. So with the Nami, with the Izo we find the 9 gate, and then we play the Nami, and we find the brook for us to play on the 4 Dawn turn. At this point, we're not going to be using the lead effect for the next few turns. The best we can do is at 6 Dawn to pop a 5 cost. Or we can do it right now, like instead of playing the brook, we can just add 1 Dawn, minus the peril, put something either to the bottom or the top of our deck, and play a Vista to pop the Peril. Something I'm also testing for us to have that pop early on, just to have a possibility to pop a 5k early in the game after a 3 Dawn play. We're capable to do that at 4 Dawn and do a 6k swing at the lead. And on our 6 Dawn turn we can do the same thing, have a 6k swing and play a Marco to pop another 5 cost if they do have one. Swings a 7, I counter the 7. He plays the peril. We go 1 Dawn on the lead, put something at the bottom, put the Sanji at the bottom, play the Marco, pop the Peril, go 6k at life. So for this deck, if they have 5k bodies on the board, it can easily pop them. Go in second with the Vista, with the Marco, just on curve, be able to play these two and swing the tempo into your favor. At this point I decide to trash the life, since I know I'm gonna go aggressive on the next turn, and based on the hand that I have right now, most likely I won't survive like the turn where I'm gonna play a 9 cost, but I will try. I'll put the Linlin to 6 just as a bait. I don't have any way of popping him. I'm just gonna go 5k with the Vista. He counters out of that, gonna go 6k at life. He takes it. Now I'm gonna go 6k at life again, but I'm not gonna use the Dawn, I'm gonna use the lead first. And then I'm gonna go a 7 with Anami. Putting some pressure on my opponent, trying to put him in a position where I can finish him off. But at this point the pudding is already at 10 Dawn, which is really scary. And I have a pudding video coming out soon, be sure to watch that. So he just pops the Nami with the pudding, pops the Vista with the lead. Most likely a 10 cost is coming here, since he is not investing any Dawn and just swinging so far. goes 8 at Marco. And he just plays a 10 cost. So at this point, as I said, we are able to play the super combo of Sanji into the new gate. We draw a card, put the new gate on top of our life, play the new gate, try to go 8k at the big mom, at the small mom, at the 7 cost mom. Of course, he counters out of that. And there was no reason to attack with the Izo in case we will be able to go for game on the next turn, but most likely we will not be able to do that. And the pudding just finishes us off. And then we play the third game. We try to play against a more relevant deck that's already in the meta, that's coming out in a few weeks, which is Monkey D. Luffy, the yellow black leader that has a lot of small bodies, which are easily taken out by this deck of Marco. But once again, I open up with 2 searchers. I was able to find a Sanji with the Nami, and with the Izo I unfortunately whiffed. But at this point, as you can see, we can easily find the 9 cost Sanji and the 9 cost new gate. The only problem is simply surviving until then, since this leader is a 4 life leader. So you have to be able to find ways to pop their board just to slow things down and counter out of like small hits of 5 or 6s, just to be able to play that combo. But of course, after the combo you become really strong and you're able to finish afterwards. So in this game I'm gonna go just 5 at the lead. I know that I shouldn't be attacking the Luffy's life, that way I slow down the game. But I really want to play this Brook just as a setup for in case he plays an ace, so that with lead and the Brook we can lower him to 3k and play like a Seaquake or a Marco or a Vista in case that happens. But he just swings 5k, I defend. We don't want to go lower than 3 at this point, simply to be able to survive until that late game. And he plays an ace, Hard plays the ace and passes his turn. Since the ace doesn't get a rush, in case you didn't know, you need to have 2 life for him to get a rush. So I'm just gonna use the lead ability. I play the Izo. I get a 2k counter. I'm considering to play the Jinbei since it can minus as well. But at this point, what we can do is simply add 1 Dawn on the Brook, attack, lower the ace to 3k, and use the Vista to pop it. Which is why Vista can be playable in the deck. Of course, it's not that good to swing with, but it's quite nice to have it as an on-play effect. And worst case, we can just add 2 Dawn and swing 5k with it. Worst case. And he counters out of the 6, so we pass. Okay, so he hard plays another ace, and this time he's at 2 life, so he's able to attack. He's gonna swing 7 at the Brook. Just gonna give it away. And most likely he's gonna do another 7 with the lead and just take care of it. So after that, we use the leader effect, we minus the ace, and then we play our own ace to minus the ace to 2k, and we just swing with Nami 2 into 2, easily being able to take care of it. And at this point we don't want to lower the Luffy to less than, like, it's fine to lower him to 1 life, just to force him to play something to go to 0. So he plays the flampe just to lower to 0 the lead, and then he can play the effect of Monkey D. Luffy to stack 2 life. And since we didn't attack with ace, he can attack on the next turn, and he's not a target to be swung at. So worst case, if he buffs his leader to like 7 or 9k, we will be able to split our damage or go all in with ace. He goes 7 at my lead, I take it. He goes 9 at my lead. Which is weird, he could have first swung with the ace. But he plays an ace and goes 9 with ace. I guess he wanted to split the damage. I will take it anyway, since we're gonna try to go for game on the next turn. And right now I can only see one option, to simply put all my dawn on ace and just go for game. Because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to survive. And as you have seen, like, most of the time you have the combo, but you're just in a spot where you don't want to play it. So at this point I'm just gonna put all my dawn on ace and go all in with the ace. 17 into 9, just hope he doesn't have it. Even though he has a lot of cards, maybe he doesn't have it. Let's see. And come on, what do we have? And it's 17 exactly, man. That was a very close one, but I won by 1k. So basically the deck was updated a little bit. You can see it right here, right now. I will work on it a little bit more, but from what I noticed, most of the time you don't even need 4 9 gates and 4 Sanjis, because you don't really even get to that point. Because if you're playing against an aggressive deck that either ramps or either plays aggressively and tries to push for game, usually you don't have a lot of defense. Maybe adding some events that give you a bit more defense would be nice, but most of the time you're really dawn dependent, and every single dawn matters just because the lead demands a dawn on him. So we'll see how the deck will update itself, but at this point, since we don't have all the cards from OP08, this is the list I have at this point. You can go and try it. The whole list will be in the description below. You can copy paste it, and of course don't forget to watch the other videos. And by the way, did you know that when I say subscribe, the subscribe button lights up, reminding you that you need to subscribe, because I'm gonna release another video with pudding, the OP08 pudding, so don't miss out on that. Subscribe!